There, I got it now. I'm actually on time this time. How you doing, brother?
I'm pretty good. Coming off of a little bit of a sickness. Not the C, of course.
Yeah.
How are you doing?
How's everything going in your area?
Suspiciously quiet. Yeah. It's not as crazy as a lot of other places I hear about.
Yeah. Well, it's definitely different times for everybody right now, right? So.
Yeah, there's some sort of gradient of like how much pressure is being applied per location.
Yeah.
Depending on the mass consciousness of people in that location.
Yeah, and a lot of people are locked into just the lower state of consciousness right now, right? So I'm glad to connect with somebody else that's self-aware. I mean, I appreciate your posts on Facebook, and I know you also appreciate self-sustaining individuality, and I'm kind of more so in that mode too, almost thinking about selling my property and just getting a plot of land, maybe going off grid, right? So a lot of people lose touch with their natural abilities. They just get caught in the cycle, and then it's almost like, I can definitely see society going in two different directions right now. So.
Bifurcation, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, this is a very interesting time. I don't know if I've never been in any type of fear-mongering person, and I probably never will, even if shit's blowing up outside. But the level of sort of pressure that's being exerted now, I haven't seen it in the past.
Right. Well, a lot of people too, they think that time's linear, but there's that old saying, history repeats itself, so time's really cyclical, and I think there's an opportunity, instead of spiraling down, there's an opportunity to get out of that cycle and create something new with other conscious-minded individuals, you know what I mean? But it's all about keeping that vibration up, and I find a lot of people are just very self-serving, like primitive in what their value systems are. It's almost like, who do you trust nowadays? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think mostly what's happening is veils are slipping.
Yeah.
Veils have been in place probably since the inception of this place. It's slipping now, so whoever's been playing games as far as the control structure is, they're not able to be as secretive or covert as they have been in the past.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say before we really get going to everyone who's watching this, the format is basically around 45 minutes per half. There's a public segment first, and then there's a patrons only segment, which you can access by going to patreon.com/samshow. Otherwise, about 45 minutes per segment. I know we talked a little bit about discussing the 1871 thing.
Vancouver Island, so I live right in the middle of it, British Columbia, and I live in a retirement community, so it's just like a lot of people that have trouble coming out of their programming that they learned maybe as a child. A lot of people like that identify with the job situation. I was a carpenter for 47 years, so I was a boilermaker, and that's their whole life.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, a lot of people have a hard time breaking out of that. And right now I've seen a lot of retired people, like even in my industry, coming in. One customer in particular, he's like, kept pushing off his retirement. He's like, no, I'm going to wait. And now all of a sudden, all of his friends are all like biased. They're all his age or whatever, right? So it's like, okay, if you're planning to retire, you really haven't taken the time to actually live in between. I think that's the greatest disservice a person can do to humanity is just not actually live while you're alive. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a big one. That's a big one to initially, when you're initially starting to realize literally anything that's going on here, is you see that the system wants you looking at the carrot, right? And that carrot takes a variety of forms, but the main purpose, as far as I can see, is to keep you out of your core, out of your 0 point. Because then you're making movements, you're making motions, you're making dollars,
system for your own, and create your own energy field. I find a lot of people parasite off other people's energy. They try to get them involved in low-level drama situations, all about transference, you know what I mean? They try to transfer their problem onto you. So if you can actually take the time to be conscious and self-aware, you can break yourself completely out of that cycle, right? Sorry, I got the dog walking around here in the background. I'm sure you can hear nails dragging on the ground.
Do you have hardwood?
Yeah, it's hardwood floors or whatever, but she's a character.
It's kind of funny how you were talking about being enmeshed and stuck in with their identity that's given by society. I never really had that. Like, I was growing up going through school trying to always figure out like what I want to do with myself, because none of it really seemed that appealing. I already had like a bad taste in my mouth looking at it just from youth.
Yeah.
And so I was always bouncing around doing this odd job, and eventually, like now I'm 46, and I finally got like a regular job that actually paid decent doing hardwood floors. And so I did it like backwards. I have the thing that I could identify with. I already established my spiritual code before that, so now it's just like, oh, it's nice. I can actually make some decent money. I can actually practice the craft. It takes skill, it takes effort, it takes lots of concentration to make sure I'm doing it right. But it's not like grabbing me. It's not like, oh, now I must do this for forever, and this is my sole identity.
Yeah, and I always had the funnest, like in school. I spent probably 60% of my time not showing up to school and skipping out. I'm surprised I even graduated because I spent so much time just, I was lucky enough to grow up in an area where there was like lots of trees, lots of nature, had a good core group of friends. I had so much fun as a kid. I mean, I experimented with mushrooms, LSD, hallucinogenics. So it was like, even at an early age, I broke myself completely out of that mind frame, and really changed my perspective as far as like how I view the world, how I view things, I view my own innate abilities. It unlocked a lot of different neural connectors. My reality is like completely different. I kind of broke out of the cycle early. I mean, I had my first job at 12. I was a dishwasher. I'd go from after school, 3:30, I'd go down there, and then I'd be washing dishes till like 10:30 at night or whatever, right? So I had a lot of responsibility early on. But
was that out of necessity, or was that just because you wanted to make some money?
Well, it was out of necessity. I mean, my parents were like middle class. I didn't come from a big rich family. I mean, I grew up on an acreage. But to have any extra spending money, I always had to be self-sufficient. I also took the other thing. I mean, everybody used to smoke weed back in the day, and I used to make extra money on the side of selling weed and stuff like that at an early age too, right? That was always a big supplementary income. But I find being adaptable and well-rounded has always been the key in my life. You know what I mean? It's like jack of all trades and master of the few.
Right. Yeah, master of the few.
Yeah.
How do you see this kind of situation playing out? Maybe you can give what you think could be the worst case scenario, what you think could be the best case scenario, and how you think it actually.
I think worst case scenario is being marching into the transhumanism agenda. A lot of people haven't really researched that, but that's like that's a possibility in the timeline. If you look at like Albert Pike, when he talked about in the late 1800s, he was talking about the 3 World Wars and how the 3rd one was going to be along, basically the human consciousness. So it's like more of a covert operation. So a lot of people are marching into that with smartphones. There's smoke dust. I mean, I know a lot of people want to talk about chemtrails as a conspiracy, but it's no conspiracy. That they're actually spraying different chemicals in the air, geoengineering. So I think the worst case scenario would be to be caught on those players' farm, because it's like, what's the difference between an organic chicken or a free-range chicken and a chicken that's been raised in a coop? I mean, either way, they wind up on the farmer's table.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Free-range chicken thinks that it's running around and it's free. And all of a sudden, the farmer comes and takes it and still puts it on his plate, and it's still food for that farmer. And I think worst case scenario would be people go more into a robotic existence, because all of us are like shortwave radios. Not only can we emit transmissions, but we receive transmissions. I know that there's a frequency war going on right now with geoengineering just electronic smog and interference. A lot of people are caught in the blockchain or the gridlock. So basically, they're stuck in their cities, and there's not enough nature. Like maybe there's a couple of parks or something like that in these giant cities, but there's not enough natural habitat in order to ground yourself. I mean, being out in nature is so important for me. Like every single day, I go for a walk, I go for a hike, especially after work. The first thing I do when I leave work is I'll take some time for myself and I go defrag. Because I have to defrag from everybody else's energy that I've been around, because I'm so sensitive to it, and I'm highly self-aware. So I think the best case scenario would be if other strong-minded, like-minded individuals collectively unify and put their efforts together, you can break out of that cycle and create an alternate timeline. I mean, who wants to be somebody else's slave or something? You know? And
Some
you're
people do. Some people do. But yeah, I mean, yeah, that's the breakaway civilization thing is interesting. I do know that I'm well aware that trying to get to different groups of sort of sovereign minds, that it's already known, and people try to infiltrate it. Sometimes they sabotage themselves from within pretty easily. I've done a few groups just to see what would happen, and for the most part, people, they don't have like, you have to have a really like rock steady core in order to actually operate as a group that is operating as a decentralized authority group. That's very necessary. Like it can't be someone is aware of the lake and they're like, okay, I'm gonna go build a guru farm over here, I need to do cycles, and we're gonna like break away from the society. Like that's already, that model has already been tried several times. It always ends up, you know, people might benefit from it for a little while, but it always ends up breaking apart. It doesn't work that way. It's almost like you have to, if there's going to be any group effort, everyone has to be doing their self-work constantly, like all the time. And then you collaborate with each other, just like what we're doing here, right? You collaborate, you share ideas, bounce ideas off of each other, and also share strength. Like we're not just collaborating, we're sharing the strength of being in control of yourself and not simply being a node for the hive, right?
Yeah. And that's just it, like breaking out of that hive is the hardest thing too, like retaining your individuality. You know what I mean? It's just, I don't know. I mean, where do you see things going here in the next 5 years?
I feel like the timelines are just like everything's just getting shaken up. The masses are, they're noticing something. Some of them are, not all of them, but the level of sort of brainwashing and entrainment is so ingrained and so deep for almost everybody that it's almost like they are, for the most part, still in this bubble, this shock bubble. They've basically fragmented themselves off and built a bunch of altars to hide inside of because they think it's been so traumatic. And you almost have to come at those people with like pure love and no manipulation whatsoever in order for them to even have like a tiny little chance of being able to see outside the edges of the entrainment because it's that powerful. And I don't know. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. You go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off there. Carry on.
Yeah, I don't know if that's our role necessarily, because we've all heard the stories of God trying to wake people up, and I'm sure we've done the same thing in life, and you kind of see they have built-in defense mechanisms. There's not a conscious being necessarily doing those maneuvers. It's the hive. It's just a reactionary sort of defensive posture. And I don't know if that's necessary. The way I see it going is that I think it is going to hit some critical tempo, some critical juncture at some point, because it's like the thing has been sped up. All these machinations have been in the works for hundreds of years. For some reason, the demon creatures have decided or realized that they don't have time. They need to get, if they're going to try to enslave everybody, as fast as possible. So I don't necessarily feel that just mass chaos. I feel like
spend like hours and hours and hours on end. And it's amazing how much information has been censored off the internet since I first started. It's like stuff that I used to come across, stuff that I used to share even on my original YouTube channel. You can't even get that information anymore. That was just a few years ago. Like a lot of the good core stuff that people should be learning. I mean, what happens if all of a sudden a lot of natural disasters start occurring, then all of a sudden you get your food chain and your supply cut off? I mean, where are most people going to be if they're stuck in a city?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Most of this stuff is engineered. Most of it's not like, oh, a hurricane came and everybody's screwed and we gotta like figure out how to survive because our town is being blown apart. It's not like most of it. I feel like is engineered in a highly artificial place.
Yeah.
And the push has always been to build this giant system. It's just like a farm system. Like if you imagine the masses are the cattle, they're breeding them essentially, right? How many people did we have a couple hundred years ago? Like it wasn't 7 billion. That's not, you can't look at that and say that that's in any way natural. And you know that from the people's perspective. They're not sitting there thinking, oh, let's try and mass replicate ourselves. And it's not that, it's something else. So it feels like they're trying to multiply their stock, and then when it's at like ripe for the plucking time, then this sort of stuff happens where they destabilize the entire thing and it sends into mass chaos. And when I say harvesting or farm, it's energetic harvesting. It's not like people are getting chopped up and eaten.
Well, but there's also that behind the scenes too, I'm sure, right? But that's for a whole other show.
There's a lot of dark shit that goes on, but it feels like the supply chain going down is the natural way to destabilize the whole region.
Yeah.
And for those of us that are somewhat aware, at least, we know that not being reactive is literally that's the way you retain your not being reactive, because you're presented with tons of cues, right? If you run out of food, that's a cue. If you don't have any food, you have to react to that somehow. And half of the people are going to react by going and trying to steal from their neighbor. And then, the other half will say, well, we've prepared a little bit, right? And hopefully people are preparing a little bit now, because it feels like it's getting close to that time, right? To where supply chains might go down. So preparing a little bit is good, but I think...
And even with this whole COVID situation, it's amazing because everybody has their different viewpoints on the vaccine. I mean, as far as COVID goes, I don't believe in it. It's, all of a sudden, COVID cases come up, and then all of a sudden, nobody has the flu anymore, but you got COVID. It's like you stub your toe, you go to the doctor, you've been diagnosed with COVID or whatever, right? And now they're talking about the universal basic income. So they're actually, they were talking about that a few years ago, but even in my area, it's like, 20 years ago, you used to be able to buy a house around here for $100,000. Yeah. It was like $100,000, I think. I bought my house for $78,000. This same house now that I'm living in, even though it's not the nicest, I mean, it's in the middle class area, whatever, this house has got to be worth about $700,000. And that was just within a short period of time. You know what I mean? So it's like everything's increased. Everything's like $1 million property around here. If you want to get into a nice house, it's like $7, $8, $9, $1 million or whatever. So where are these people? I don't understand how these people are getting their mortgages and stuff like that, because I mean, you got to think about what the average person works. Not everybody has a high level position or a high level job. It's like most people are middle class, and I just don't know where all this money is coming from. It's like
probably the majority of those people did something similar to you, where they bought it at under $100,000. Most young people nowadays can't buy houses. That's just a fact. They can't afford it. So therefore, anyone that's in the house is somebody that purchased it in the 80s, 90s, or 2000s, where it was still feasible. Right?
And then it's that same generation that tells you I work for it. And yeah, they did work for it, but it's like even 20, 30 years ago, you can still get a $30 an hour job. Your expenses, you can go down and you can get a 4 liter of milk for $1, and you can get a loaf of bread for 50 cents. And it's like now that 4 liter jug of milk is like $7. That loaf of bread is $5. It's like I go to the grocery store, I gotta get a few nights dinner, and it's like $200.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's just it's very expensive. Yeah, and it's
And it's just like, and it's, 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 it's,
it's of course by design. When I would talk to Aurora about it, we would talk about the financial system being a system of musical chairs, where it's intentionally set up with high interest rates, so you're constantly having inflation, and eventually the buying power of your money goes down, and eventually it segregates everybody into the super wealthy elite and the super poor, and it's like that's the cycles. Once it gets too far apart, then, you know, the nasty people at the top or whatever say, okay, it's time for harvest, so they get in there with fucking with supply chain, with HARP or weather manipulation. They get in there with all of it, like it's a comprehensive sort of plan that manages the destabilization.
Yeah, and it's every society. I mean, only goes on. You look back to the Roman Empire, the Greek Empire, you know, even going back to Egypt or Atlantis or whatever, the Mayans. You know what I mean? Every civilization eventually reaches its critical mass point where it's no longer sustainable, and then it seems to collapse in on itself. And you know, in all honesty, I can't see the system going on like this for too much longer. I mean, maybe 5 years. You know what I mean? Because it's like, even for the banking system, you got $1 million. It's not like they got $1 million section in their vault and it's got your $1 million cash sitting in there. It's all just an imaginary number on the screen. So it's like, it's all an illusion. So they take that imaginary number on the computer screen and they charge you interest for something that's not really there. I mean, how many people deal with cash nowadays? I mean, unless you're like a drug dealer or you're like in some sort of like line of work that you make a lot of cash. I mean, in my industry, I still deal with cash. So like 90% of my purchases are untraceable. You know?
Yeah.
So
it's not 100% illusion. It's mostly illusion. And if you think about it as a harvesting system, the point of the illusion of money is that it keeps expanding, and they want the Earth's population to outgrow the carrying capacity of physical resources themselves. So you eventually get to this point that we seem to be close to now, which is it starts getting too big for its britches and it begins to collapse.
yeah,
But as far as banks, they're required to keep 10% in holdings of so-called real wealth. But again, being that it's mostly electronic now, it can only be so-called real wealth if it has a tie to something that was tangibly created. So if it's just a loan that was given and that goes and has much better trading with like money-making, money-type mechanisms, and it has no tie into something that can be physical value. It makes it highly it's imaginary. It's highly imaginary for the most part. If they give you a loan for $5,000, right, and you're out there holding a real job and you're paying the loan off, half of that loan situation is producing real value. The half that you're doing, the half that you're working. But still, the half that was pulled out of thin air is not represented by anything. So half of our entire economy, just off of that one fact of giving loans, is completely and entirely fake.
yeah,
The half that you're doing is real, but the other half isn't. And the other half is, the problem is the other half is sitting inside of the banking system, and it looks exactly the same as your half does. So it looks like $5,000. Your half looks like $5,000, but they're not the same thing. They're not represented by the same thing.
yeah. And it locks people into an indentured slavery system. I got friends of mine that are like, you know, 20s, 30s, 40s, and they're just getting into their first home, and then all of a sudden you got an $850,000 mortgage. And on top of that, so that was just for what they're paying for the house price. And then you got the interest on top of that. So it's like, how do you think you're going to pay that off for a lifetime? Because most people, I mean, what, you live 60, 70, 80 years, you know what I mean? How are you going to pay that off in your lifetime? And I think what the end goal is, at some point, there's probably not even going to be any more property ownership. You know what I mean? I don't really think that it's sustainable the way it is right now. You got a lot of baby boomers, that generation, where you were saying they did make the money, they paid for their house, all the bills were paid off. When they start dying off, I mean, our generation doesn't produce as many children as their generation.
No, it's down to under 2 children per couple. It was somewhere around like 3 to 4. So our carrying capacity, our producing a net gain as far as new children is not nearly what it used to be. But again, there is a physical carrying capacity
too. Even listening to like people, if you look at the old Bill Gates interviews where he's talking about eugenics and sterilization and stuff, and he's smiling about it. It's like, obviously there's no agenda. You know, I mean, most people haven't researched Agenda 21, and it's like, okay, so what's the deal right now? 2021, and it's like everything falls on point. If people want to be a sheep, I don't know. That's not a reality that I want to march myself willingly into. So it's kind of like I've just taken a lot of time for myself to try to produce a different reality for myself and others around me. Because I'm not going to be marched or forced into any type of scenario. I still want to have my free will. I still want to have my choices. And I don't want to be parasited or followed or harvested by anything. I don't think that's not what I'm doing. You know, and people can't make a choice to make a viable change in their lives. Like you were saying, you got to do the self-work. You got to do the inner work. You got to get rid of your insecurities. You got to get rid of your doubt. You got to get rid of your issues. You got to get rid of your... a lot of people push good people away because they got issues within themselves. And, you know, I think it's time people unite collectively to try to create a viable change. And it's, I'm all about revolution, I'm all about change, but it's like, where does that start? It starts with the individual. I mean, look back in history, you get one individual, Martin Luther King, you get people like Malcolm X, you get people like John Lennon, and what's the end result? If you're just one person trying to make a change, you know what I mean? It's like, it never works out.
You become a target.
Yeah.
That's how it always has happened. That's why I'm quiet, because I know everyone becomes targets. And I don't mean quiet like talk. I just mean like if you're quiet internally and you're neutral for the most part, you can't talk about this stuff without being a target.
Yeah.
If you get up in there and you're like, oh, I'm gonna save the thing and I'm gonna kill all the demons, that's an option, but you will become a target. You know? And
Yeah.
it depends on what you're wanting to do. Like I think if we go back to the idea of play as sort of like the fundamental moving nature of the universe, because you compare it to what you were doing as a child, it's always about achievement. It's always about structure, rational movements that have a tangible result. That's our economy. The economy itself is based off of it. And if you compare that to the idea of play, or like singing a song, where the action itself is what it's for, it's not for something else. That's what I think is the most healthy way to treat the thing, because then also people that are trying to look at you and your plans and trying to target you perhaps, they can't tell what you're doing because you don't even know what you're doing. You're not trying to like get to a certain endpoint, which again goes back to the idea of staying present. It's just like it's a way of learning to be where you're able to do the things that you need to do that require some forethought, some planning aspects, but you're doing it in a way that it's very quiet and it's not drawing a whole ton of attention to yourself.
And I think, you know, demons are like everything else. There's good and there's bad. It's like everything collectively. Angels, whatever, people. I mean, there's good and bad in everything. You know what I mean? Goes back to the yin and the balance. So,
it's all balanced in general. Like some people like to say, "Oh, the good guys win, all the bad guys win."
I think the good and the bad, because eventually, if the good guys win, it's like, you know, you still get back to that structure. And it's like,
one side doesn't win. There's always some. The only thing is that in this particular world realm, it appears that it's weighted inside of the parasitic evolution aspect. Whereas I feel like Alan Watts says, he says it's something like 66.7% good and 33% bad. Because if you were just in this harmonious like utopia, you would get bored. You wouldn't be motivated to do anything. So there needs to be some dirty stuff, some shenanigans, you know, some mischievousness. But I feel like the balance in this particular place is weighted in the opposite direction. So for those of us that are empathetic and that actually love and care for each other and not just like, oh, me, that provides our challenge directly and immediately, because our ratio is mostly good with a little bit of bad. We're in a place that's, as far as the control structure, is mostly bad with a little bit of good. So our goal is to tip the balances back to the ratio that's mostly good with a little bit of like shit going on.
yeah. And you know, a lot of people are sitting around and they're waiting for like somebody else to do something, like maybe, okay, waiting around for a savior or pray to something outside of yourself or whatever. And it's just kind of like, if you can't learn how to go within and save yourself, you're literally screwed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You got to become your own savior. You got to become your own rock. I mean, you know as well as I do that we're already immortal. We're already eternal. Energy never dies. It can just be transformed into other things. So it's like, depending on our conscious choices, you know, you can either return it as something more advanced, because I think when you leave the system, the only thing you can take with you is your experience. You can't take your clothes, you can't take your hair, you can't take your house, you can't take anything else with you. When you leave this body shell, the only thing you can take with you is your experiences. And if you haven't had good experiences, you're going to come back and you're going to be recycled into the same thing. And if you make worse and worse choices, I mean, worst case scenario, you become recycled as like an oyster or a blade of grass or something. You start back from square one, you know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
and you already know, like, nothing in this realm is solid. You can look at anything through a microscope, and everything's vibrating something called a particles.
Yeah.
So it's like, depending on the frequency, everything can be changed.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, nothing's really solid because it's all a hologram. It's all an illusion.
Right,
So,
and then that like your thought structure gives mental solidity to things.
yeah.
It's more of a purely mental place than it is some sort of pseudo physical mental reality. It's mostly mental, because you don't find that final. Just like scientists have said, oh, the atom is the tiniest thing. Like, how many times can I chop this thing up? Oh, the atom. But then they found out that no, the atom wasn't solid either. It's made of these quantum particles that blip in and out of existence. So like, there is no solidity. It doesn't even exist. There's no final unit of solidity that everyone can say, this is reality. Nobody knows what the fuck reality is. It's composed of infinite fractals both ways, like up and down.
Yeah.
So in the end, it's a vastly intricate illusion that is fit very well together, and it's pleasing. It is pleasing if you look at it to see the beauty of it, and also because it's a dualistic realm, the bad stuff is really fucking bad. Like, it's genuinely bad. It's not like, oh, you know, that's your fairy tale of the god and the devil. No, like, the god-devil story is also great, and there's a really like benevolent deity and probably a bunch of them, and then there's a really shitty bad guy.
Yeah.
People are like scared to realize that that's how it actually is. It's as real as it is fake. It's both.
Yeah. And that's the difference. I think God, or the realization within, it's like, you know, it's the difference between a creator and a non-creator. Because I think that God can create, and I think the devil can only imitate. So at best, it's you know.
The devil probably created an entire universe, or the bad guy. He probably created a synthetic AI universe, which we appear to be stuck directly inside of, which is why it's weighted in the more bad than good type of scenario.
Yeah.
But if you allow yourself to not be scared of fucking everything, then you can see it as, oh my god, this is amazing. This entity literally tried to copy creation down to the very last quark and quantum bit, and there's not very much love here, because I can feel it. There's not that much love here, and this is a weird fucking situation, and what do I do with it? Like, if you can get past the fear thing, then you can actually play in any scenario. Like, even if you're chained up and someone's about to torture you, like, you're alive, you're fucking alive, and something's gonna happen, and if someone's trying to torture you, you're able to fucking get back at them. Like, you're able to use whatever you have at your disposal to fuck them too. Like, that's part of the game.
Oh, 100%. It's you know, I was lucky enough, because I've always been self-aware, so I've always had memories of past lifetimes, and there was always a similar theme where a lot of the times my life would get cut short for being the nail that sticks out, and you know, you get the hammer, and you know, like you said, you get targeted or whatever, right? So I spent a lot of time just doing the inner work, so going through like working out things about my personality, my character flaws, how I view things. But the one thing that's kept me going is I have something called unconditional love in my heart. So it's like, regardless, that doesn't mean I'm going to go ahead and love. I mean, I'm not going to love a child molester. I think they should all be wiped right off the face of the planet. You know what I mean? I don't think there should be one of them left. I don't think there's rehabilitation in that scenario in that case. I think they should all be wiped right out. You know, maybe they can do better next lifetime. But yeah, I think it's up to the individual to do that inner work, and that's so important right now, because that's going to depend on what timeline scenario you're experiencing. And even when someone dies, it's like, you know, do you think that person that dies, do they even know that they're dead? Because I think in some way, their life carries on
defining as dead, like, okay, I'm dead. So none of my sensory apparatus is working anymore. So who the hell knows that they're dead? Like, the whole thing is ridiculous immediately. If anything, maybe you have a rest or a stasis where your soul gets to rehab itself a little bit. But, like, I had this conversation with my brother a long time ago, and that was that when the spark becomes aware of itself, it's game over at that point. There's no, like, going back to unawareness. And why is that? That is because if you go back to unawareness, you don't know. Like, you can't know that you're unaware. So once the spark is going, and then say you go to unawareness for 1 billion years, you don't know you're alive there, okay? So when the 1 billion years is up and the spark re-establishes itself, to you, it's one continuous thing. So there's only, once life starts, there's only life, literally forever. It's just it changes form.
Well, you know, it goes back to that in the beginning there was light. You know what I mean? So it's that first set of self-awareness and coming out of that darkness. It's almost like a rebirth, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so,
and it can't really truly be like broken down. That's actually the fail safe inside of it, because scientists would like to get in there and like describe what's happening and say this is how quantum mechanics work, this is how the physical reality works, and they're not actually ever touching it with any of the formulas. They're not touching it because there's nothing to touch. Like, there is not a base physical unit that they're actually touching. It's somehow thoughts interacting with other thoughts. When you talk about the particle of quantum mechanics, you're saying words. That thing that you're trying to describe is not touched at all by the words. It's just the mental trying to understand like how this shit all works.
Yeah, and even with you know, unified conscious field or quantum entanglement, I mean, that's a very real thing. If you align yourself with others at, say, a lower vibration, you have a very hard time breaking out of that, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it's, as you were talking about, the veil's being lifted right now. So it's, I spend a lot of time just with, like, I'm so careful about who I associate with right now. I'm careful with the energies I put around. I try to be conscious with my temperament, although sometimes, you know, I still have those variables in my, in my own experience too, you know what I mean?
We get mad. I get mad. It's fine to like experience emotions, because that's what we are. We're volatile beings, and we're stuck in fucking reality. We're constantly pull this way, pull that way, and then eventually we realize, oh, I want some peace and quiet. I want to find like if there's any solitude in this life, then you find it. But at the same time, you can be. That's what it means. We're not everything. Actually, feel
nature or the organic always seems to have a natural balance to it. And like even with Mother Nature, it's like, okay, so we end up cutting down all the trees and what, well, all of a sudden maybe a big flood happens out of the sky, and maybe a big wave comes in and wipes out that society. It's like even along the shoreline, every shoreline, if you look out far enough, has a society or the remaining society of homes. And if you look out far enough, you know what I mean? So we all think that things are going to stay the same forever. Really the only consistent is change. And I mean, without change and growth, I mean, if you're not growing, you're staying the same. If you're staying the same, you're not evolving, you're getting stagnant. And if you're not growing, you're not. Like what happens to a rooting system once it stops growing? It starts to shrivel up and decay, and all of a sudden the whole plant closes up, and then the plant dies. You know what I mean? So it's like always creating those, even with the neuroconnectors in the brain, if we get caught in certain trains of thoughts, brainwaves only go in certain patterns if we get ingrained in those certain trains of thoughts. But if you can break out of that, you can still build new neural connectors, and you can create different neural connectors and create different realities. That'll become more apparent, I think, in the next few years.
There has to be the period of sort of destruction and like metaphorically destruction of people's oh God, you know, the thing's exploding, you know, we're dying, whatever. Like, just remember, everything's always changing, and probably whatever you think is going to happen as a result of all this probably is not what's actually going to happen. You may have some vague idea, but unless your mind literally is telling you about all the factions that are doing everything everywhere, all the planners, all the everything, up above, down below, if you don't have direct access to that, then you don't know what's going to happen. You don't take care of your own self.
100% true.
Okay?
Yeah.
So I think we're coming up on about 35 minutes. I think that's pretty good for the first segment.
Okay.
Again, to access the second half, it's patreon.com/snailshow. $6 a month to access to every single second half of this whole 52 show series.
Okay. You want to send me a link for that too, or?
No, we're just, I'll send you the link. If you're interested in it, I'll send you the link. As long as this show is break.
Okay.
Get a drink of water or use the restroom.
Okay.